We're going to be continuing our coverage of the Temptation Island couples, and our next couple is Grant and Ashley. The red flags here, there's not many, but they're pretty damn strong. Grant had cheated on Ashley only a month into their relationship actually being official, which isn't a good start. The second red flag is she brought him on the show because she really wanted to see who he was. And I'm gonna let y'all know right now, if your significant other is putting you in a position where they have a very high feeling that you're gonna fail, internally, they don't believe in you as much as you think that they do. Today's episode is gonna be completely dedicated to Grant. It was extremely important to Grant how the people that he loves perceive him. He knew that walking into the show and then just kept highlighting that every single time he got a chance. And I firmly believe that. When I saw him out there, I was like, yo, he's really a bro, which is good. But then there's the other side of it. A dog is a dog. Grant has a daughter. He's a pretty young guy at 28. He said he's only introduced his daughter to 2 other women, and one of them being Ashley, which I think is a representation of the kind of life path that Grant has followed. A lot of his desires, which do seem to be well-intentioned, are clouded by his temptations, their desires. Ashley says Grant overpromises and underdelivers. Being honest, that is pretty brutal for somebody to say about you, especially your significant other, when they know that it is a priority to you to be seen as a good person. And it can feel very belittling, which is something that he addresses at the later end of the show. But we have to really see if she's wrong. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Old boy did not do a good job defending himself. But you talking about episode 3, kissing up on another girl, going out, already falling in love and feeling these emotions. Grant ends up truly committing himself, either intentionally or unintentionally, to another relationship throughout the entirety of the show. During Bonfire 1, we see a video of Ashley talking about she doesn't deserve him and about how God put a piece of shit man in her way. Grant starts to talk about Ashley belittles him and puts him down. And Mark, since to Grant's concerns, then instantly goes from shifting the focus from Ashley back to Grant, which I believe was an eye-opening moment because he consistently blamed Ashley for judging his character. We see Grant developing in this relationship with Natalie. Natalie highlights something super important about Grant. Grant has a good heart and he wears it on his sleeve. She was willing to elevate their relationship because she saw good potential in him and what I believe is his true heart. My synopsis of Grant is pretty straightforward. Being a good person does not always make you a good significant other. We'll just take what we saw with Natalie at face value. He went, messed around with Natalie. Then at the next opportunity when he could, he tried to mess around with another girl to try to make Natalie jealous. And what I think made Natalie a great representation of what Grant needs to understand is she pulled him to the side and she was like, yo, that shit is not cool. Like, what are you doing? You're intentionally trying to hurt me as some form of entertainment. Once she did that, I believe that was when Grant began to see that he is not as good of a romantic person as he thinks he is. There's some deep layers of fun and desire that I feel like might be missing from his life. He wants to explore that with other people while still taking care of his responsibilities. Grant gives me that energy of the Latino father that says, I put food on the table, I pay the bills here, my house is protected, it's clean. That's my love. Where it's about their contributions to their home should be enough to subsidize their love. And as we have seen, and many of us probably experienced, that's not necessarily the truth. You need to go and put your heart first and show people that you love them through your actions, not just your words. And sometimes your words are necessary, but when they don't line up, that's when you run into a lot of issues. Bonfire 3, that's when we see Ashley starting to develop a relationship with Danny and truly grow. It was at that moment where he really started to feel hurt. Speaking through my experiences, a lot of men, we be cool to be moving in the shadows and doing what we gotta do. But as soon as that table gets turned on us, we don't be ready. I believe that was a wake-up call for Grant. Sure, you're a great guy. You're a good person. You're a good father, good husband. But your girl don't need you. Relationships are a choice. Continuing to endure somebody's bullshit is a choice. Just because you provide them some form of stability or love doesn't mean that you're guaranteed their love and affection. You need to do your part. Mark identifies the difference between Grant's words and Grant's actions. Grant then responds by saying, I don't feel like a bad person for exploring the connections that I have. Mark then responds, grappling with your actions says a lot about your character. I want to take a quick moment to highlight how important this advice from Mark is. We are humans. We are flawed. We have tons of challenges and we are not perfect. What separates somebody with a sense of consciousness and remorse is an individual who feels bad for the bad things that they do. I'm not saying they should be excused. I'm just saying that the fact that you're already thinking that what you're doing is wrong is a good thing, because the first step to fixing any problem is identifying that you have a problem. In the next portion of the show, the significant others get to send each other a briefcase stating a 30-second message. In Grant's message towards Ashley, he explains how he forgives her for what she's done, but more importantly, forgives himself. Mark helps Grant identify a lot of the challenges that he has with relationships and how they are tied to his relationship with his family. I want to take a pause here and help everybody realize the way that we are as people is not a coincidence. Grant begins to acknowledge that he's been trying to prove to his family that he can be a good man, have long relationships like they have. Grant's experiences and the way that he perceives relationships ties in hand with people whose parents were married the entirety of their lives, or individuals who grew up and everybody around them is married or married young and has loving, long relationships. That's just not the way that it goes. And if Grant is in the flame of his youth and trying to live a good life and explore, not wanting to be tied to one person, then that's fine. But you cannot bring somebody else down with you or blame them for the way that you navigate these relationships. In the final bonfire, a lot of things said and a lot of exchanges that are negative. It's challenging. The most impactful thing that Grant says is, "I've neglected my feelings for too long." This show provided great clarity towards Grant to show him that his feelings are super important, and the way that he wants to move, he should move. If he's a dog and wants to go chase a bone, go chase a bone. Go live your life, my boy. That's what you want to do. The biggest feeling that Grant tuned into in his time in the island, which was backed by Mark, was relief. Him choosing to leave alone and leave this beautiful woman, he put himself first. And I believe that that was the core of what he wanted to do the entire time. I want everybody to walk away in their mind knowing that you're choosing to be with somebody because you want to. And if you're doing that for some purpose outside of just because your heart wants to, it's eventually going to show itself to the light. When your significant other is locked in with you and trying to achieve happiness and build a family, if you're not reaching it, they're going to be able to feel it. So those are my final thoughts on Grant. Whether you agree or disagree, tune into the comments. Let me hear what you think. And if you want to learn about my favorite person on the show, please tune into the next episode right here. I love ya. Peace.